Is the dream of living in Mexico as an expat coming to an end? That's a question that I've been hearing more and more since the Mexican peso has been strengthened. Let's talk about this. Over the last few years, many people have decided to move to Mexico for many reasons. Great weather, well, not now. It's very hot now. A rich culture, amazing food, and of course, the cost of living. In 2020, we even saw the peso at an all-time low of 25.71 cents to the dollar. We saw a wave of videos on YouTube talking about gentrification in Mexico City and other areas in Mexico. I even jumped on that trend. Of course, because it was a very trendy topic and that's what YouTubers do, right? But it was not only beneficial to these immigrants coming to Mexico, it was also beneficial to Mexicans offering their services to these people. In my case, I opened a YouTube channel which its primary audience is people from the United States. It makes sense that a lot of people want to watch videos on YouTube about cost of living in Mexico, life in Mexico, towns and cities in Mexico. It's not only me, but a lot of people started to open a YouTube channel talking about Mexico, the cost of living in Mexico, their life in Mexico, and they were foreigners, of course. Additionally, many Mexican people started offering their services to foreigners. Realtors helping foreigners finding their new home, tour guides showing these amazing places to foreigners visiting Mexico, lawyers helping immigrants in the immigration office, which is not easy, and much more. This situation created a win-win for many people. At the same time, I started to open my Spanish Academy over a year ago. This was a fantastic decision because as I was working on this project, I was able to hire more Mexican people to work with me. And together, we were and we are creating such an amazing content, conversation classes, which, by the way, check it out here on Thrive in Spanish. I've created this academy with a lot of love, and I'm very happy that because of that, I was able to meet amazing people, which I think I can call them friends now. Recently, I redesigned my website. Check it out, it's very cool. And the design was my sister. If you want to hire her for more projects, it'd be such a great opportunity for her because she's studying at the university and she needs that boost of confidence. And of course, if you are interested in taking classes, Spanish classes, I'm offering Spanish conversation classes every Sunday in such a fun and relaxing environment if you can speak Spanish in an intermediate level. I also have courses for you starting from zero if you want to start learning Spanish. Check it out. But now, with the economic landscape shifting quite significantly, I can't help but wonder, what does the future hold? The peso is getting stronger. Right now, at the moment of watching this video, the peso is 17.22 cents to a dollar. If you're thinking of living in Mexico or if you are living in Mexico, this might worry you. I get it. I'm feeling it too. And I will explain why in a few minutes. To give us a broader perspective, I reached out to one of the expat groups in Mexico to see how this is affecting them. Are they reconsidering their plans? Are they considering to move to another country? Our rent is a little higher than we expected, but otherwise I'm happy if it benefits Mexicans. My husband earns in pesos, but he has to buy many things in dollars, so it's good for us. Less traveling because 8% more rent. I'd say to an extent it affected my cost of living, but I had concerns that this trend would continue over the next several years with the exchange rate dropping as low as 10 to 1 or less. I started my YouTube journey in 2018, I think more or less, and I also started to teach Spanish around that time too. I was giving private sessions and of course I was earning in dollars. So it was really convenient for me, especially living in countries such as Vietnam and Mexico. Check out those videos actually if you haven't seen them. Thanks to my success at teaching Spanish in private sessions, I decided to open my Spanish Academy last year. And I even hired Mexican people because it was going really well. Everything was going smoothly until the exchange rate began to shift. I must admit, it's not going as smoothly as I'd expected. You might have heard of the channel Tangerine Troubles. This was a channel initially created by a couple who traveled all around Mexico, and they were helping people to transition smoothly into their new life in Mexico. It was one of the biggest channels aimed at an American audience. His views aren't the same as before. He even publicly acknowledged that it's not as profitable as before. A few months ago, my very good friends Jenny and Kevin told me that they were considering closing their channel due to declining views. By the way, you should check out their videos. They produce high quality content. You'll love their videos. And it's the same situation with me. If you check out my YouTube videos, you'll see that the views have been dropping in the last videos. And it's not only us. Many Mexicans who earn in dollars and have their expenses in Mexico must be going through this more or less the same situation. I asked on Reddit Mexico, and this is what they told me. When I go eat tacos in Tijuana, they cost much more. Trips to other countries are cheaper. A trip to Cuba cost 20,000 pesos. I signed up for a contract, my current company, and they are going to pay me a bonus. You'll imagine how it's going to be. I live in Tijuana, and my economy has been strengthened up when I buy something in the United States. Earlier this year, my husband and I went to a trip to Colombia. Obviously, because Colombia is an amazing country, we love it very much. We met there. But also because the Colombian peso was weak against the Mexican peso. It seemed like a smart move as I earned in dollars and my husband in pesos. We thoroughly enjoyed our trip. But now, back in Mexico. And you may be wondering why. Apart from our love for Mexico, everything changed for us. We felt tired after traveling for 5 months, and we were kind of wanting more stability. At the same time, my husband was finding a lot of instability at his job, so he started to look for more options. And finally, he found another company that is also paying him in Mexican pesos.
So recently I was looking for a job as a software engineer, and fortunately this is a career where a lot of the work is done remotely. So I was able to look for jobs in the US and also for Mexican companies. And I was lucky enough to have a few offers, some from US companies and some from Mexican companies. And in the end, it ended up being better off for me to accept a job from a Mexican company because, well, the peso is really strong at the moment, so so the salary actually worked out better, and also because workers in Mexico actually have a lot more rights than in the US. We have free healthcare, Infonavit, which is help to buy a house, lots of other benefits outside of the salary. So I ended up accepting a job as a Mexican employee, and it was the right thing to do considering the options that were available.
Maybe you've watched my video about salaries in Mexico. Very recently, the past few days, it's getting a lot of views, mostly from a Spanish-speaking audience. I wonder why. A friend told me that maybe a lot of Hispanic people are looking for a job in Mexico. What do you think? If you're new here because of that video, I'd love to know it, so leave a comment below. And if you want to leave your opinion about everything that I said, leave your comment as well. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much to my patrons as well who are supporting this channel. And see you in the next video, guys. Adios!